my mom had lost her sight. She lost her sight to macular degeneration back in the early 90s. I had never been around, to the best of my knowledge, anybody that was blind. I knew nothing about it. We moved her from Florida up to the Philly suburbs where we were living at the time, and found an association for the blind. And in the end, she ended up doing more travel than she did when sighted, became a speaker for the association, did some other things that convinced me you could thrive with vision loss. Not that it was easy, but that you could thrive. I'm going to throw in a Naval Academy story, and I think, so I know at least one of you knows Brad Snyder since I've been trading notes with you, but for those who don't know, Brad Snyder was on the explosive side, demolitions, clearing the field, everything for the IEDs. And he was in Afghanistan in probably 2010, 2011. And he had cleared the path for his squad. And then somebody went off the squad, off the path, hit an IED. Brad followed him and hit an IED himself. And he said he thought initially he had died. He said, I had no pain, but everything was black. And then he had significant pain and realized he was still alive, but came to realize he was blind, completely blind, to the point that now he has two prosthetic eyes. He has no vision. But 1 year to the day after he lost his sight, he won swimming gold at the London Paralympics. So wow. If you aren't aware of that story, to me, it's just astounding. I mean, not only did he learn to cope with vision loss, but he set world records. In fairness, he was the swim team captain at the academy, but in fairness also, I don't remember us being ranked 1 or 2 in the country for swimming. So he was a good swimmer, above average swimmer, but wasn't setting world records. So I'm convinced you can thrive with vision loss. After I left Merck, I've gotten very involved with a lot of startups developing assistive technology for the blind from all over the world. That's smart canes, haptic wristbands, a guy that's deaf-blind that's been hit by 3 times by cars, who has developed what looks like a lightsaber to highlight himself. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. And where I could use help from this group, I'm also involved with 3 different employment initiatives for veterans, people with disabilities, or my sweet spot of the blinded veterans. So companies that believe in the business value of hiring people with disabilities and veterans, that whole intersection, I would love to get some introductions to larger companies. And I'm also working on an initiative for transportation. I don't know if any of you know the stats, but 2017, 250,000 VA appointments were missed. One of the significant reasons being that they couldn't get there. There's just a lot of problems. So you have Uber and Lyft if you don't live in a rural area. If you do, you don't have solutions. So simple bottom line for me is I'm very involved in helping people thrive with vision loss, primarily blinded veterans, and then the broader communities there, and love to help and love introductions.
Well, that's really interesting, Ed, and thank you. Quick story, when I was 14 years old, my dad, who many of you have met, he's not on the call today, but he's a Navy diver. And he actually ran a dive certification course culminating in an open water dive for a group of blind people. I was one of the dive buddies. And to this day, I can't believe that he actually pulled it off. But many of them said that it was one of the more formative experiences of their lives, to actually do something like that blind. So yeah, there's very little limit to to what a person without sight can do if they really put their minds to it. That's great what you're doing, Ed.
We just need society to believe in that also. 70% unemployment for people who are blind. So it's not about what they can do, it's about what society believes they can do.
Yeah.
And that's
well, stick around. You're gonna find the connections that you need here probably.